enables the organization to look well into the future to ensure they are laying the foundation today for sales and revenue tomorrow. Perhaps they know based on historical data that they will need perhaps 22 qualified prospects in order to get 10 with the real need, willingness to engage and budget to act. They know that engaging those 10 will result in issuing 5 proposals and ultimate 1 sale. If that's the nature of their funnel, then it's pretty straightforward to work backwards from the number of sales they need to make and determine how many qualified prospects they need to enter the funnel each month. They also know that weakness at the top of the funnel today will mean that insufficient sales in a few weeks or months down the line. They even know when because they understand the length of the average sales cycle. The recruiting funnel is no different. Sales-minded recruiters and recruiting teams identify the top talent in relevant fields. That's the top of the funnel. Then they set out to engage with them, whether they are looking for work or not. Salespeople don't start by wondering if someone is looking to buy. Why should recruiters start with wondering if someone is looking to buy or make a move is the question. If a product or service meets important needs and is aligned with important values, a sale is always a possibility. Sales-minded recruiting is no different. Most people are open to a conversation about their favorite topic. And you know what their favorite topic is? It's themselves. Once you get them talking, it's a matter of understanding their values, their motivation, understanding what isn't and what isn't working for them in their current role, and what would it take for them to really consider a move. Together you can determine if there might be a fit within your organization. A funnel is a powerful resource, enabling the company to grow, to quickly respond to opportunities, and to fill critical roles quickly with high caliber talent. Let's come to the next field now, and the next field is really every employee is an ambassador. We're clear that passive talent doesn't respond like active job seekers do. The bar is always set higher. It's about career opportunities and not descriptions. That we've already taken a look at. It's about a much more collaborative approach to present an authentic value proposition. It's about looking for genuine, mutually desirable fit. With these crucial mindsets in place, it's time to recognize and leverage the talent acquisition power of everyone in your organization. It's not just the recruiting team, it's not just your business leaders, but it's every single employee in your organization. It's hard to overstate what a huge difference this can make. So let me ask you a quick thing. Let me start relating this to activity on LinkedIn. Can you guess what's the number one activity on LinkedIn? The number one activity on LinkedIn is viewing other people's profiles. And every profile that is being seen is an opportunity. How is that an opportunity? Let me tell you. Today, CEOs are understanding the importance of social media. CEOs are understanding the importance of people's presence on LinkedIn. So consumer purchase decisions are substantially made in advance. Business purchase decisions are substantially made in advance. So do you think people take career decisions any less seriously? These are also kind of subconsciously made in advance. If you really want to hire the best, you've got to get out in front of this too. You've got to educate and inspire the talent marketplace about your organization and what makes you different from your competitors. You've got to think and act like a marketeer. If you've got this and your competitors do, who's going to be talking to the best and the brightest? Think about this. This could really, really make a difference. If anybody and everybody who lands on LinkedIn, if he comes onto a particular LinkedIn profile, he's looking at who this person is. Where did he or she study? Where did he or she do his first job? Where did he or she move on to in the next job? And where is he or she today? If he or she is at X organization and his or her profile looks rich and intuitive, then he gets a feeling that, wow, this is such an incredible organization. Which is why we're saying each and every employee kind of resonates and displays the power of his or her profile. And through his or her profile, people are kind of subconsciously making decisions whether it should work in that person's organization or not. So what do you need to do to really build up your profile? You need to make sure that you and the rest of your recruiting team have great profiles on LinkedIn. This is the vital first step. You need to engage and inspire candidates and to set an example for others in your organization. The first thing you need to do is get a professional photograph. The second thing you need to do is a headline that goes beyond your title and speaks to your audience. The third thing you need to do, an inspiring summary that will engage and excite readers. You got to understand that your profile isn't your resume, it's your professional brand. It's a reader-focused look at who you are, what your organization does, and why the audience, in your case, potential candidates, should care. You need to make sure that you keep your talent brand in mind, and making a strong profile is easy. Just ask yourself who you are, what you do. Go ahead and take a look at how other people have written stuff on their profiles. Look at industry's best recruiters in terms of how they've described their profiles, basis which you get an idea of what you need to do. Simple things like, have you enlisted your career's website as a URL in your profile? Have you given a link to what life is like to work at in your company as a link to in your profile? These are simple things that you can do to lead by example. The fifth thing that you need to do is harness the power of data. Data changes conversations. Data changes mindsets. Data changes strategies and business models. Those organizations and those individuals that come armed with data tend to fare much better than those who do not. Your hiring manager, you might have often heard about the purple squirrel. You might have been asked to find this purple squirrel. Who is this purple squirrel? This purple squirrel is more often than not a seemingly impossible hire. The hiring manager normally says that the right person for this role absolutely positively must have a laundry list of qualifications that are going to be extremely difficult, if not impossible to deliver. It could be multilingual, Ivy League grad with 10 years of experience, with particular key roles in top tier companies. You get the drift. Often these conversations go pretty poorly, as does what follows. You end up frustrated with each other, lots of time takes away, and then there's a lack of clarity about what the problem really is and what do you need to do about it. Have you ever thought about bringing data into this conversation? Because when you do that, the conversation can be entirely different. Let me show you how. LinkedIn Recruiter is a great tool for quickly assessing the talent pool for any described criteria. In minutes, you can present the hiring manager with this data. Now let's get back to the purple squirrel that your hiring manager wants. Perhaps there are 3 of them in the country. Let's say somebody wants a big data architect with Hadoop experience, somebody who's done analytics for the oil and gas industry, who's currently based in Chennai, India, with 10 plus years of experience, who's worked in product-based organizations for the last 5 years. It's an insanely difficult requirement. Perhaps when you do a search, there are just 3 people who match this criteria. You know what you can do? You can find these 3 people in Recruiter and then tell them that, let's eliminate one requirement out of these. Let's eliminate the product companies out of these. And let's see, how many people we can get. When you do that, you will see that suddenly the search results increase to 19. Give this an insight to the hiring manager. Show them that this is the data. This is the kind of market that's available. And then what you do is instead of Chennai, say, let's look at Bangalore or Hyderabad because these are, nearby locations. Or if you don't want to do that, let's look at people with Tableau skill set because that's also part of analytics. If they worked on this skill set. And that will increase the candidate pool to about 71. And then go ahead and remove one more and then eventually, it comes up to 82. Add and subtract requirements, change requirements, measure the pool, and actually involve your hiring managers in these discussions. When you do this, you're actually setting the stage for mutual success. And this can happen in minutes of the first meeting when you're using our tool, LinkedIn Recruiter. And that really is the power of data. The last thing that I would request you to do is always think strategic. With all of this, building towards a fundamental elevation of the recruiter function, a progression over time from service provider, think about how you can be a strategic partner. Think about how you can move the needle from being an order taker to a leader. How you can move from being a cost center to a business driver to even a profit center for that matter. So here it's all about elevating the recruiting function. You know, at one time or the other, pretty much every organization was at the first stage, which is what I call traditional recruiting, reactive requirement filling, starting from zero for each hire, posting and praying and outsourcing to agencies when that isn't meeting your needs. Generally speaking, this is inefficient, produces suboptimal results in terms of time to hire and quality hire, and this can be very expensive as well. Many companies have told us that budget for job boards and agencies was dispersed across different lines of business and various hiring managers, and when they eventually tallied it all up, it was more than what they actually realized. As organizations develop towards a more strategic approach to talent acquisition, they start to do a number of things differently. While posting and praying continues to be a part of the picture, they start to shift at least part of their efforts towards sourcing passive talent pipeline in vital business areas. While this is largely reactive, they begin to utilize social media to build awareness and push opportunities to a wider network, and they begin to see benefits of doing so. They also define their employer value proposition and are generally able to, enunciate who is best suited for the organization and why. Further moving up the strategic staircase, things are a whole lot different from what they actually were. Strong internal sourcing capabilities have been developed and they are recognized throughout the organization. The talent acquisition team is a trusted advisor to the business leaders and a natural to-go person for most of the hiring needs and even for critical and tough to fill niche roles. No longer can the approach be classified as reactive because there is a conscious, concerted, ongoing effort to engage key talent in critical areas and keep them for future opportunities. Also, employees across the organization understand their role in attracting talent and they always act as talent brand ambassadors. So the top of the strategic ladder, where the best of the best are heading, looks something like this. We have continuous pipelining of talent for numerous roles. We've got continuous multi-channel engagement of talent to maintain and strengthen relationships. What we also have is a powerful employer brand and genuine status as an employer of choice. And talent acquisition data always becomes an essential part of strategic discretion of the organization. So as recruiting teams, you might be in different stages. While some of you might be in the traditional bucket, some of you might be in the development bucket, some of you might be in the foundational bucket. Your goal really should be to move from traditional to strategic. That is what your goal really needs to be. And how can you do that? You can do that by embracing 6 ways how top recruiters doing things, think this week, how they are shaped as a can you really fish the deep waters of the talent passive pool. Like we discussed, what is the first thing we need to do? We need to think about career opportunities for our target market, which is candidates that we intend to hire, and we need to move beyond the job description. What is the second thing we need to do? We need to understand that recruiting is marketing. Gone are the days where you used to post and pray. Today it's all about developing your brand. It's all about, bringing out in the market who you are as an employer, showing the EVP, making your candidates understand why your company can make or break their career, and then eventually getting them on board. So recruiters have to think like marketeers. The third thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you are thinking like sales. Remember the funnel that I showed you? Are you building a pipeline, a talent pipeline that acts as a funnel for you? That, just takes random people and moves them to, people who are passive talent, who can be warm interest for you, and then who can be qualified by you to make sure that they are relevant for your talent brand, who then you interview and eventually get on board. So you got to think like sales. 4, put a program in place in your organization to communicate your employer value proposition and make sure that every employee is a talent brand ambassador. The fifth thing you need to do is harness the power of data. and use this data to communicate with your hiring managers and make sure that they understand from your perspective what you're saying, and make sure that they realize what the reality of the market is. That way, you'll be able to find the purpose skills that you're looking for. And lastly, be strategic. Like I said, move from a cost center to a profit center, move from an order taker to somebody who gives business intelligence and drives the conversation forward. That really is the messaging that I wanted to kind of give it to you today. With this, I'd like to pass the baton back to Pooja. Pooja?